Sagittarius, it's your girl Jay, the High Priestess, back at it again with your general tarot reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Pisces season 2023. Be sure to check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising. Patreon gets everything first. Patreon.com/justjeverything. All the other links are in the description box below. I don't really feel like giving the spiel right now. Sagittarius, for all the important astrological transits and dates, go check out the Pisces season astrology video. That will give you all the tea on why you're feeling some type of way around this day of the week or whatever. Sagittarius, I don't know if you're pulling from someone's energy or you're tugging on someone's energy, but I do feel like there is something about like consulting yourself, becoming your own guru, becoming your own governess, or minding, not minding your own business, but like minding your own development, minding your own growth, self-parenting, self-soothing. There is this kind of like maybe self-inflicted graduation or leveling up or something that's coming in. But allow yourself to be malleable, allow yourself to be open, allow yourself to be alive. Your ruling planet, Jupiter, is in Aries. Trust and believe that there's so many huge changes. This is a brand new cycle of a chapter. A brand new chapter that you're entering in. The next 12 years are going to be very, very different for you guys if you just let yourself focus on yourself. Like, if there are any like healthy or like high functioning Aries in your Aries suns in your life, I feel like you may be able to like take a note off of them in some sort of way. I'm in Aries. As far as the functionality, that's, you know, the eye of the beholder. But Sagittarius is just like your horizons are broadening. There's this like brand new life, brand new love, brand new you that's on the table. Something monumental has happened. Something big has shifted and it's forcing you. Can't even talk about it. It's forcing you to come back to you. Hydrate. It's forcing you to come back to you. It's forcing you to be present. I feel like some of you have even like been dissociative. Some of you may have been with your distance, the distance, Jupiter distancing itself away from Neptune, I feel like there can be some like questions about like what's real, what's not real, what's reality, what's not reality. Is this real life? What is real? What is life? What is me? And it's great that you're asking these questions because that means something has shifted and it's like obliterated your foundation, and this is exactly where Jupiter wants you to be. Malleable. Build yourself, rebuild yourself, brick by boring brick, brick by adventurous brick, brick by philosophical brick. Whatever it is, I feel like don't mind, but like, yes, there's stuff that's like wiped the slate clean for you. I don't even think that you guys had much of an option in this. There should have been some proverbial come to Jesus, some big shift that's happened that is forcing you to figure out who you are, what you are, and trust and believe that the root of all dis-ease, the root of all dis-ease, disease, 444 was on the clock, so yeah, you're getting a brand new foundation for fuck sure. The root of all dis-ease, discomfort in life is a lack of knowledge of thyself. the root of all disease, the root of all disease in your physical body, in your mind, is the root of it. I don't know why I'm like, I need you to get this. The root is you not knowing who you are, what you are, the fabric of what you are, the cut of cloth you are. You know? And so some of you, it's time to like dive into your lineage, dive into your family tree, dive into also like, do you know, are you familiar with the sensation of your spirit? What's going on with your relationship to your higher self? And Jupiter is going to force you to rebuild philosophies, your relationship to travel, your relationship to expansion, your relationship to growth, your relationship to conflict. Hydrate, light it if you got it. I feel like I could just like zone out or space out, and some of you may be really feeling that. Justice is the first card out. I'm telling you, in whatever ways that you have felt wronged, the divine is conspiring to make things right. Some big things have happened, big shifts. This is the next 12 years, bruh, the next 12 years. You fuck around and find out who you are, and the next 12 years of your life will be completely different than you ever expected. It could be completely different than what you planned. I feel like some of you are finally starting to understand the difference between the divine's plans and yours. Justice coming out. There may be somebody with Libra or Taurus placements that's playing a big role. Your relationship to truth, your relationship to balance is coming up. There are some big decisions, and these decisions have long-lasting ramifications, so it's important that you evaluate your relationships. There may be somebody with Libra placements that's playing a big role, or that you're evaluating them or they're evaluating you. Whatever legal stuff you guys have going on, there's some legal stuff that's coming that's happening in your favor, that's going to be balancing things out. But I do feel like with Justice coming out, this makes me think of the Libra-Aries axis. Libra is I balance, Aries is I am, Libra is we, Aries is me. And so there is something here about understanding that, okay, love that this came out, because there's something coming up for you. So we spend so much time like freaking out about weighing our options and what's being weighed, what we put on these little trays, when what we need to realize that what's down here is irrelevant if what's up here is flawed in some sort of way. If the mechanism with which you're weighing something is not calibrated right, it's not going to give you correct measurements. So it doesn't matter what the fuck you're trying to weigh out or what decision you're trying to make. If your scale is off, baby, the decision's always going to be off consistently. And so a download that came through was that Libra is the beam, but Aries is the base. And sometimes this is a form of a scale, but some of the scales, they come down, the base is on the bottom, and then there's a stand, and these trays way up, you know what I'm talking about. So whichever way the base is, this is kind of like a more pendulum style. And I feel like it's easier for things to kind of be inaccurate with this kind of scale, because this kind of scale requires like a certain level of mastery that we do not have, which is why it's in the hands of Justice. There is some force that is way greater than either of us, that can wield and weigh and measure properly. But Aries is the base, I am. Libra is the beam, I balance. What you balance will always be fucked if the base is off. If the base, Aries, I am, is off. If this, let's say this is off, you're never going to get a solid beam. You're never going to get a solid or an accurate beam measurement until the base is solid. So if your base is off, who you are, then everything else is going to be out of balance, out of whack. And so what's coming up is that there is something here about the recalibration of your scale, the recalibration of your life. The Ace of Pentacles is reversed also. And how are you to grab the Ace of Pentacles if there's so much that you're holding on to? So I do feel like there's stuff that's being removed. There's stuff that's being revealed. So sorry, Sagittarius. I didn't realize I didn't have it on airplane mode. They be calling me. Anyway, people, maybe you may have the opportunity to really distract yourself, but I feel like you need to really pay attention to the facts. You need to really take a look and assess where you're at so you can make accurate decisions of where you're going or where you're trying to go. I just want you to know that there's some sort of rerouting. Stuff is going in your favor. Justice coming out also may make you, it tells me that something feels like an injustice to you. And so I just want you to know whatever isn't going your way, it really is going your way. Everything is always going your way. The sooner that you can get that, the sooner you can stop stressing, stop welcoming in all of these experiences that are trying to just help show you, hey, everything's going your way. Once you can own this and let intuition lead, and you connect to that intuition, your life experiences are going to very much so change. Very much so change. There will be much smoother sailing. So please continue for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I definitely feel like some of you are like having to deal with like legalities in some sort of way. And with justice coming out, I do feel like the fairest outcome comes to pass. Ooh. All right, maybe not for everybody. Justice and then Judgment reverse coming out with the Empress on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Some of you, I feel like, yes, justice prevails, everything goes your way. For the rest of you, there's something doesn't go your way, or a verdict doesn't go your way. It may have to do with your mother or a wife or an ex-wife or something of that nature. It may involve money, family, ego. Some of you are thinking about going back to an ex-wife, an ex-husband, or an ex-wife or ex-husband's trying to come back, or they're like going back on what they said possibly. For some of you, this is about business. It's like, yeah, this verdict, it's like you lost the battle but win the war is how this feels for some of you. So I do feel like whatever legal situations or whatever it is that you're going through, so much of this have to do with your lack of faith. So much of this and we're in Pisces season. This is the sign of I believe. Some of you are thinking about like going back to your family or trying to create a new family, trying to recover from the damage that was done to a family. This is tea. With Judgment reverse coming out, what ways are you doubting yourself? Some of you, the divine's trying to send you a message and you're ignoring it. You're ignoring the writing on the wall. You know that you need to get off the fence. You know you need to make a decision. You know you need to like speak the truth. Or for some of you, the trumpet of truth is sounding and you're like, yeah, okay, I'll pay attention to that when I have the time to. And it's like, okay, you doing this is how you welcome in tower moments. You ignoring the fact that the divine's trying to get your attention. In some way, the divine needs you stripped bare. Your foundation has been wrecked or will be wrecked if you keep ignoring your higher self, if you keep ignoring your intuition, if you keep ignoring the fact that you're a spirit having a fucking human experience and your spirit has to be in the driver's seat, not your emotions, not your logic, not what you think is fair. You don't know what fair is. None of us have the full scale and scope and big picture. You know, our concept of the big picture is a fractal of what the actual big picture is. And so I want you to, you never know what other people are going through. You never know. I just want you to make sure that you're being kind, that you're listening to your intuition. I feel like whatever's going on in your life, the divine needs you bare, needs you willing to be intimate, needs you stripped of this old, outdated version of yourself. There's something about surrender. There's something about nakedness before the divine. And some of you have been trying to seek this out through drugs, have been trying to seek this out through alcohol, trying to communicate or like catch that high again, or catch that experience, or get back on that wavelength. Let me tell you now, you don't need any kind of substance. You don't need any kind, all you need is silence and isolation. And I'm telling you, you can fucking interact with God. Some of you, you're wanting to have this like, just by way of, they call, Google fucking psychotropic breath work. You can make yourself hallucinate. You can make yourself hallucinate by way of just breathing. You can have these interactions with the divine by way of trying to get to know the divine that's in you. And so there is this very specific like listening, there's very specific expansion that is very much so dependent on your ability to be transparent, your ability to be vulnerable, to be intimate, to have like this kind of come to Jesus with yourself, or this very honest, brutal truth session with yourself, so that you can lovingly and compassionately alter your behavior. But some stuff's coming down through the pike, and I just feel like there's some big shifts that you're needing to, that you're being asked to make, and you can't ignore it anymore. And Nine of Wands being the center of the reading says that your relationship to your mental health needs to be your number one priority in Pisces season. And Pisces season is Pisces rules drugs. It rules alcohol. It's you know, it's associated with the Temperance card too, because it's Jupiter. Which Temperance is your card, Sagittarius. So there is something here with like moderation, patience, recovery. I also feel like there may be somebody with Scorpio, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements that like there's an ending with, or an end of a fight or end of a cycle. Like this is very much so like the wounded warrior energy. And so there is this need to allow yourself to really figure out like in what ways of life are you perpetuating the fight? In what areas of life are you allowing yourself to ignore all the resources that are available to you? There are so many resources that are available to you. It's important for you to understand your intuition is a resource. Your friends are a resource. Your passion's a resource. Your spirit, your fire, your perseverance is a resource. But there's just so many. It's just time to take the blindfold off and be willing to see everything for what it is, see the writing on the wall, make these decisions, end the fight. Some of you are going against the grain. It's like you're going against the grain in life, and it's really keeping you from a very specific kind of happiness that wants to come in. I'm not taking all of these, but the Two of Wands reverse, Knight of Pentacles reverse, and then Ten of Cups just came out. And I am taking the Two of Wands reversed. And so I do feel like, just like there's this back to basics or a stripping, I feel like going from the Nine of Wands, which is the end of a cycle, to the Two, some of you are avoiding the fact that like maybe you need to move, or you've been restricting yourself in some sort of way. You've been in a position where maybe you're uncomfortable exercising your authority, or you're uncomfortable being autonomous, or, you know, sovereign and independent. I feel like you're having to make some sort of choice in regards to like traveling or like what you're going to do or why you're doing what you're doing. Making sure that you know why, the why of it all. Why are you doing, or why are you not doing? Some of you, it's like you have the world in your hands. There's so much power in your hands, and you're being asked to take the road less traveled, but in some sort of way you're comfortable being stuck. Final card, final message. Or you're comfortable where you're at, or for some of you, you're not stuck, you're just holding yourself or being held in this uncomfortable position so that you can figure out how to get yourself out. And so I do feel like your choices, your decisions, the things you say are so important in Pisces season, because this is the real ending of 2002. We're really closing out 2002. I mean, even the Gregorian calendar is all fucked up. It's like 2015 in Ethiopia. So time is not fucking real, but the way that we perceive time is not the holistic perception of time, or it's not the holistic view. But some of you, it's like you made a decision and you're not acting on the decision that you made, or you made a promise to yourself and broke the promise to yourself. And there's all this internal conflict, all this fight, and it just feels like you know what you need to do. If it involves traveling, don't be afraid to travel. Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. I feel like you're divinely supported to make the change that you need to make. You're divinely supported to I feel like you're supported by friends, by family, and the divine. But it will require some kind of like stripping naked or getting bare again, getting down to the bare bones, getting back to basics. That's what I'm calling the reading. Hopefully I have my freaking pen in here. I just had that. Jillian. Back to basics, back to basics. I'll remember. Let me see. Final card, final message for Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, and Rising for Pisces season 2023. Final card, final message, please. I just feel like you are scared to act. And it would make sense because I feel this is a brand new chapter, and I kind of put a lot of pressure on you. Yeah, the next 12 years are going to be different. But like, that's what you want. It was way too many cards, and it was the Knight of Swords on its side. So I'll just take that. Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, Nine of Cups, Temperance, Four of Swords is what came out. But I'm only keeping the Knight of Swords. So there is a radical change in your mind, which makes sense because your ruling planet is going into the first sign of the zodiac, the first sign that is all about it's all about you, me, your concept of me, how others see you, what you choose to show the world, your identity, your self-image. There's this radical shift in how you view yourself that is deeply impacted by the divine. I feel like you've been shown some of your own power. You see yourself in a different way. And how you used to roll, you can't roll anymore. How you used to love, you can't love like that. How you used to talk, you can't talk like that. How you used to walk, you can't walk like that anymore. There's this brand new like update, or like there's brand new like experience or something in your mind that's going to really reroute you. It's going to reroute like what you're pursuing, who you're pursuing. So some of you, I feel like you're turning away from like the way you used to prioritize love or relationships, or even kind of like fun. And I feel like what you used to, your concept of being self-made is changed. Your concept of self-worth is changing. And the ultimate goal is to get back to yourself and experience peace. So the closer that you get to Aries season, I just need you to know that your thoughts are going to be changing. Your relationship to a thought becoming an action. Your relationship to your foundation. It's time to get back to basics. I hope to see you over on Patreon, over where we'll clarify each one of these cards and really like get into the thick of it and ask very specific questions. So, you got this. I love you. Let's get into it. For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.